In Haryana today, we have more than 120 training partners spread across all the 22 districts. We want to make sure the trainers that are conducting the skill programs of various QPs, they are trained and certified.
So today we have with us Mr. Raj Nehru, who is the Vice Chancellor of Sri Vishwakarma Skills University in Haryana, which is India's first government university in the skilling domain. Along with this, he is also the Mission Director for Haryana Skills Development Mission under Government of Haryana, where he is focusing on enhancing and upgrading the skill set of youth through implementation of skill development and entrepreneurship initiatives and programs in the state. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Raj. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And just to begin with the conversation, so can you walk us through the work and the varied schemes that you're running under the Haryana Skill Development Mission?
Yeah, sure. See, Haryana Skill Development Mission is an arm of the state government of Haryana that is focused on developing and deploying the short-term programs that are linked to employment, employability, and livelihood. And in this, we run various programs and schemes with an intention to help the youths of Haryana to either get ready for the jobs in the industry or start their own jobs. So on the one side, we prepare them for as a job seeker, and on the other side, we also prepare them for a job provider. For this, we have launched various programs under the private-public partnership. And in Haryana today, we have more than 120 training partners spread across all the 22 districts. And these training partners are working on those job roles which are more relevant to the industry. And for this, we have developed and deployed and empaneled private training partners in all the districts. This program also identifies programs where we help the women to learn the driving skills. This is one of the niche schemes that we run in Haryana, upskilling the women on driving skills, so that we can create an empowered woman, because driving is one of the most important skill set today that creates a lot of empowerment, freedom it gives you. So we are driving this driving skill program at the state. Then we are running the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is a flagship program of Ministry of Skill Development, and under this program, we have almost trained 35 to 40,000 people in the state so far. And these programs are also intended with the same objective of enhancing livelihood and employability of the state youth. On the other side, because the PMKVY has the central government funding, the state-funded programs are run under the Surya program. So Surya is skilling, upskilling, reskilling of youth and their assessment. And for this, we are running some exclusive programs that are intended again at aligning the youths of different qualifications for employability. For example, we run today certain programs in partnership with various companies, and these partner programs are run under the Surya program with an objective to facilitate the young engineers, with an intention to facilitate young diploma holders who have a qualification with them, but they are lacking certain skills. For example, we are having a program with a company called P3. P3 is one of the largest German company, and they are in aviation. And in Bangalore, they have their training and deployment center. where thousands of people work for P3. Their customers are like Boeing and international fleet owners. Similarly, we have tied up with other institutions, government institutions like Haryana Agriculture University, CPET, Wadhwani Foundation, JC Bose University, YMCA, GD Goenka University, and Bahadurgarh Footwear Park, along with Sri Vishwakarma Skill University. So, with all these institutions, Mission has tied up on some specific job roles where these youngsters can be prepared and trained for the market. In Sri Vishwakarma Skill University, Mission has opened up a model skill center, which is Construction Skill Academy. So university has developed a Construction Skill Academy, and we are training on plumbing, electrician, bar bending type courses, and these youngsters are then aligned with the construction sites so that they can become job ready. So this is something that the Mission is running. Mission has also planned to roll out Udyog Mitra. This is a very innovative scheme that Mission has started, and under this scheme, we are tying with the industries to run the program and then deploy these students in their industry. So it's a captive program: recruit, train, and deploy. So under this program, the students are supposed to be trained and then enrolled as an apprentice. The apprentice amount that 1,500 rupees Government of India gives, over and above, the state is also giving 1,500 rupees. So additional incentives have been provided in that scheme. Besides, the scheme also provisions to provide incentive to the students who complete their apprenticeship program, then they join the job with the industry. So this is a very lucrative scheme, and we have seen a huge response from the industry because this program will actually run inside the campus of the industry. Besides this, we have also initiated our effort to develop the entrepreneurial skills with the help of ECI, Government of India. So we have so far trained more than 2,800 youths in three districts: Gurgaon, Palwal, and Faridabad. And almost 700 plus youths have already started their own small enterprises. So our target is to train 10,000 youths in Haryana this year on the entrepreneurial skills. And our intent is that we prepare them for the self-business models. Besides this, the government of Haryana and Haryana Skill Development Mission has also initiated the process of conducting a wide, detailed and in-depth skill gap study in Haryana. So we are almost at the final leg of it, and we are targeting within 6 to 9 months, we will do a detailed study of Haryana on various aspects, including skill and economic factors. And now the new education policy has come to see how it aligns with it. And basis that skill gap study, the new strategy will be announced accordingly. So this is what Haryana Skill Development Mission is currently doing.
Perfect. That's amazing. That so much that you're doing as an initiative. And just moving towards the aspect of the teachers or the trainers that are there as a part of the program. So what would you say that the Skills Mission is doing to improve and empower their skill set?
We have a Sikho Sikhao program in Haryana. What our target is that we want to make sure the trainers that are conducting the skill programs of various QPs, they are trained and certified. So almost 170 skill instructors or trainers are TOT certified for various programs that they are conducting. Besides this, Sri Vishwakarma Skill University has started a program called Kaushal Setu. Under Kaushal Setu, we are getting the expert mentors, and through these mentors, we are running various teacher training and teacher development initiatives so that teachers can be aligned to the new and emerging aspects of the job roles that they are training, whether in university or in the skill mission. Our intention is that we have trained trainers in the institution. Besides this, we tied up with National Institute of Technical Teachers Training Institute, Bhopal and Research, Bhopal, NITR we call them. And with NITR, we developed a almost 1 week long training program on developing the new teaching pedagogy among the teachers. So, university developed a 7-week long teacher orientation program in which comprised of 1 week in Bhopal for training them and upskilling them on the new pedagogy. Besides that, every faculty here has a mandate that in every semester they have to work for 1 week in the industry and learn the new skills in the industry, so that when they are teaching, they are completely ready for that.
And another aspect when it comes to skilling is that about the content. So how are you taking care of that? Like, where are you bringing the courses from, or who is facilitating the creation of that material for the courses?
So far in the mission side, we have the standard ready-made QPs, and those QPs are having structured and approved content. We use that. As far as the new partnerships are concerned, for example, P3 is a new partnership, Advani Foundation is a new partnership, or we have worked with the industry there to leverage their content. In university, our mechanism is defined in a way where we have board of studies for every program. So the number of programs we run, every program will have a board of study. Every board of study will constitute members of the industry partner that we have, with whom we are running that program. So these industry partners and our teams together work in arriving at what kind of curriculum we need. Once that is finalized, then this board of studies submits this program and it goes to the skill council. Skill council again has the members from industry and academia and also the government. So the skill council approves that, it goes to the executive council, and then it goes finally for the implementation. So these are the 4 levels where we have our curriculum approval process, content approval process. After that, our own faculties today, they work on developing the content. As on day, our university teams have worked themselves on developing the content. And in the coming days, we are going to work getting more people, more resources, and then the more investment on skills for developing the content. That also we are trying to do. Besides this, we are exploring our partnerships with certain organizations who are content development organizations, especially the digital content, so that we can get even the better and more qualitative inputs for that.
Since you're also running the Sri Vishwakarma Skills University, so you'd also be in touch with a lot of students, and the aspirations might be something that you look for when you're also creating the courses there. So what is it that the students are looking for in terms of gaining in skills currently? Like, which are the favorable skills that they're looking for, and do you see that there's a connect between what they expect and what the industry is expecting of them?
Look, there is a big challenge today when we come to the skill-based education or vocational education, or when the programs are run in an industry-integrated mode. Our mindsets are very different in the existing social ecosystem. People think going to a college or a university means just to have fun and just to spend some hours in the campus. But in our case, the perceptions we are changing, which is sometimes very difficult because the old conventions are more influencing, that our students here have to actually work more, because 60% of the credits they earn from the work and 40% of the credits they earn from the classroom, but that classroom is also more practical oriented. So the challenge comes when students find themselves more time in industry, and in industry they have to work, and when you have to work, you have to do a hard labor. So hard labor sometimes becomes a challenge, and many students sometimes mentally are not prepared. So we have a separate team that works on counseling, coaching of these youngsters. This is one. The second also issue is that in the general ecosystem, the skill-based education, vocational education is seen as a last resort. So the people think that those who couldn't do well in the general academics, that they only should go for skill education. So we are changing this as well, because most of my students today who have completed their vocational education are doing very well, and they are becoming the example and benchmarks for other students. So we are also working on this paradigm that the society has, people have, by setting some best examples after they graduate or diploma from the university, and seeing them how they have got established, and also their ability to perform better than any other student today that we see who comes from a conventional university with some technical education. I think compared to the skill education that we impart here, which is hands-on, the students are able to do better. So that perception also has to change, and we are battling and we are working to make that. The third important thing is the mobility, which is a challenge, and I think now with the new education policy that we can address, that vocational education needs to have interoperability. So where the horizontal or the vertical mobility is provided. In university, we have kept the provisions of mobility, but in the larger education world, between universities, between institutions, interoperability, or between courses, interoperability has to be assured. That's a challenge that today we are facing in the education sector. So I think that's one. As far as the short-term programs are concerned, I think there is a huge demand for people with CNC skills, people with retail skills, people with broadband technicians, people, data entry operators, customer care executives, healthcare workers, general duty assistants, organic growers, dairy farmers, networking technicians. They have got a huge demand. There's a huge demand for these, including the appliance repairs, home appliance repair technicians, and the mobile repair technicians, laptop repair technicians, electronic gadget repairing technicians. So these are having a high demand in the industry today. And as far as the university is concerned, we see students are very keen, and the industry is very keen with the youngsters prepared on robotics, mechatronics, 4.0, cloud, analytics. So we have also started our programs in this area, and now we are also going to start our program in the area of smart manufacturing next year. So there is a huge demand, and we constantly work with the industry on that.
Indeed. And to sum up the conversation and bring this to a conclusion, so what would be some of the skill sets that you think the future would require? And how is it that the State Skills Mission or the Sri Vishwakarma Skills University is preparing the youth for that?
I think one important thing we need to know is the formulation of KASH, KASHS, knowledge, aptitude, skills, and habits. This is very important, and it has a implication at each level. When the child is born, and after 3 years to 8 years, there is a need to see that the formative stage KASH is developed. So those traits, those preferences, those likings, those interests are well groomed and well identified in the first 8 years, so that the foundation for taking them further is set. Today, the issue comes when we have a problem with the skills at physical level, at emotional level, and at thinking level. So I think the first thing where the focus needs to be built on the skills is how do we strengthen the emotional skills and thinking skills of the children, and the physical skills of the children. So there's a need for a more harmonious development in the beginning, strengthening those foundational skills for a harmonious development. And once we set that, then we are supposed to provide them the basic technology skills, which are, for example, coding is one important thing. For example, be aware about the new technologies like 4.0, we are talking about cloud, or we are talking about machine learning, or we are talking about what we call IoT or artificial intelligence. So these are some of the, or blockchain. So these are some of the important skills people need to be aware. And when people move forward in their education after class 12th and 11th and 12th and graduation, people need to specialize in some of the areas if they have developed interest, because these are going to be the defining skill sets of future, and its application is going to be across all the subjects, whether you are studying non-technical subjects or technical subjects or softer subjects. These skill sets would be highly required.
Sure. And that brings us to the content. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Nehru. It's been a pleasure, and it's been like really insightful for me, and I'm sure a lot of people will be viewing the content, will be like benefiting from the insights that you've mentioned here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.